This is your degenerate power half hour. Your late night golden shower. Too ill to be sick, so you can't split that carnival spin with the Rictus grin. I'm Joel, he's BMO, and this is Vagrants and Vandals Radio.
Coming out of you pretty smooth these days.
Yeah, I had to put a little spin on that one because we talked about doing an abbreviated episode. So right on the fly, I was like, I don't want to say power hour if it's not going to be an hour. So let's jump right into this. Something's getting on my nerves.
Oh yeah. Did you listen to the first episode and hear that story too? Folks, I will never fucking let it go.
It's a gift that keeps on giving. No, listen to this. Okay. All right. So we obviously live in the information age, and boy, do we as a people, I'm not going to blame any one entity or individual, but we as a people, when there's some sensationalized story, boy, do we love to just talk
Certainly.
it to death. Okay, so I'm going to cut right to it. When a white girl, especially a pretty white girl, goes missing or is found dead, whoo, do we love that as a country? We're just like,
everyone loves pretty white girls. I mean,
give us some more. Give us some more. Well, here's what got on my nerves recently. And this is something that's got on my nerves for years. Anytime there's a case where someone goes missing or is killed, there's all the hoopla over who did it, and then the best person ever, and their life's been snuffed out. Sure, it's all sad for the family, sure. But let's please stop acting like these are some great national tragedies that we all have to be invested in. And let me tell you what pissed me off recently. Let me tell you what dead people have got me riled up. So, my girlfriend Shirley, she's been following that Idaho killings case. If you're not familiar with it...
And I wasn't until you told me about it, so...
Real quick, there's this creepy student named Brian Koberger. He essentially...
I love that last name.
He kind of stalks these people, I'm guessing, for a time. Anyways, he sneaks into the place they live. It wasn't exactly a dorm room, it was like a house. And he kills 4 of them.
Damn.
Okay, kills them, brutally, in their sleep or whatever. Kills them.
Rape and murder or just murder?
No, just killed them. Just murdered them.
I don't get that.
Just killed them.
If you're going to go to prison for murder, you might as well get some rape up in there too. Because you're not going to be getting any for a long time.
So. Psychology here.
Well, I'm just saying, if I was going to break in and murder people, I mean, what do you draw? You draw the line at rape at that point? That's over the edge?
I mean, different things motivate different killers, I guess.
Touche.
I'm not questioning any of the motivations. Here's what kills me is when people expect you not to make jokes about it. Okay? And we're coming to you this week from the honey hole.
The honey hole. And we don't expect that. We expect you to make the joke in the honey hole.
So here's what drove me nuts. So earlier this week... Okay, so this guy's trial's ongoing and all the court stuff's going on right now.
So is that recent that this guy hasn't been...
This was last December.
So how do we know he did it?
There's evidence.
But has he been convicted of the crime?
No.
Okay, well, the world we live in says that he didn't do it until he's convicted of it.
Not the world we live in. That's our justice system. Innocent until proven guilty. The
burden
of proof is on the state. They found the sheath to his knife at the scene. The sheath of the knife had his father's DNA in it. He did it.
Maybe his father did it.
He did it. Nah, they got footage of him casing the area. They got his cell phone being pinged off of towers.
Oh, dude, yeah, you get fucked in a cell phone department.
He did it. Anyways, so the other day, Shirley gets this new set of kitchen knives, big old knives. So I'm cleaning the kitchen, and I've got 2 of the knives and 2 of the biggest knives, and I'm just I'm comically sharpening them together.
Yeah, I say you're sharpening
them. Ching. And so they're in our apartment. There's a cutout between the kitchen and the living room. So she approaches the cutout, and just with wide dead eyes, I'm staring at her. I go, "Hi. Welcome to Koberger's, home of the Koberger." And now she stifles a laugh, which tells me she thinks it's funny. She stifles a laugh and goes, "That's not funny." I go, "It's fucking funny, and it's funny." So the other day, this is yesterday, I'm going on about this again, and she goes, "I wanted to make a video of me doing this and share it to one of our channels to promote the podcast." And she was like, I'm not going to share that. I go, "I don't care." I'm like, "It's still funny." "I don't think it's funny." I go, "Oh, really?" Now, she has a gallows sense of humor. I go, oh, but any joke I crack about 9/11, I don't even get the word 9 out of my mouth, and she's laughing.
Could be talking about anything.
I go, like 3,000 people died that day, but you want me to cry crocodile tears over these 4 co-eds? I'm like, sorry. She goes, well, maybe it's just because this is fresh. I'm like, oh, I was like, I was making jokes about 9/11 on 9/11.
Was she on the rag?
No.
All right, well,
No.
oh, yeah,
Just like people, and this is the whole thing I'm getting at. People have their little, their biases toward one thing or another. Like, you'll joke about this, but not about this. And I feel like, I'll joke pretty much about just about anything. And some dead co-eds that I don't know. And do I feel empathy for their families? Sure. I hear a story like that. My first reaction is,
mine sometimes.
Look at the family members crying on national television. But if I'm in my own home, or I'm broadcasting on my podcast, and some deranged little thought pops into my head, because that's just how my brain processes things, and I want to say, hey, welcome to Co-Burgers, home of the Co-Burger, and I was trying to work in a line about that Gabby Petito, or whatever.
What you call it earlier, potato?
Ever
Gabby
since that case, because that was another case that
disrespectful
got on my nerves so bad, I started referring to her as Gabby Potato.
That girl died for your freedoms.
No, she did not.
Well, she died. All right,
sure.
She did die.
She did die. I do not believe she died for my. That's a hard sell.
Now, see,
she died for my freedoms.
He didn't rape her either.
That was her point.
He did fuck her because they were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Relationship.
He's like, I can get that pre-fuck killing. Come on now.
So, like, I don't think it's funny these people are dead, but I find the coverage absurd. I find the national grieving absurd. Like, none of this whole little. This subculture that's popped up online of like true crime detectives, and you see like these girls on TikTok.
I do like that though.
Doing their makeup while they're pontificating. Well, I think the police, blah blah. Like you don't know anything.
Yeah, but some of those people have, well, maybe not those makeup bitches, but plenty of internet sleuths have made some pretty dramatic discoveries.
Sure.
That police have missed.
But most of these people, they're doing it for the same reason we're doing this podcast. They're
surely.
Looking for listeners, they're looking for views, and I'm tired of it. Don't pimp your faux grief to me as concern for the victims. You're full of shit. I'm gonna make all the Co-Burger and Gabby Potato jokes that I want.
I love faux grief, bro. That's the best. You can use that at work, faux grief, all the time. Like, oh, someone's dying and having a bad day. Leave me the fuck alone. I want to talk about it.
That's it. That's all I wanted. That's what I wanted to say.
I mean, I have to tend to agree with you. Now, I did watch that Gabby story, and like I told you, it's only because I thought she was attractive, and I thought, I mean, I should have known better. It was like ABC. Like, what are the odds they're gonna be in nudity in this? Probably not very fucking good, but I'm gonna watch anyways. Pretty good story. I mean, that guy ended up offing himself.
Who's that?
The guy who murdered her, her boyfriend. He ended up killing himself.
Brian Laundrie.
Yeah.
He got taken out with the laundry.
Now that's important.
I don't care. His mom might be in some legal trouble now because they discovered a note that she wrote him. And some of the details were like, even basically, she didn't say even if you kill her, but it was even like,
she said.
The mother.
She's like, I'm not telling you to do this, but you could just kill her.
No. She wrote a note to him, I think, after the fact, basically, like, you'll always be my son, even if this, even if that, yada, yada, yada. And I think there was some line in there, like, it's one thing to be like, I'll always be there for my kid, even if they do something horrendous, but I think she even, like, kind of, like, specifically mentioned,
so if your son murders somebody, would you turn him in?
Me?
Yeah.
No. No, my first instinct would be like, we're going to call the police and turn you in, son.
Who could do that?
But the mother, I think, basically, I didn't read the letter. I heard a little bit about it, but I think...
So real quick to clarify, your kid comes to you, now let's say this is 5 years down the line. They're 15, 16. They fucked up. They made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say they were fooling around. They got a little choky. Next you know, we got a dead cheerleader on our hands.
So you're saying they had themselves some... They come to me and they're like, we were having rough sex and she died.
Yes. At that point, what do you do? Because waiting on it is not... Dude, this is not the fucking 30s. Your son's going to be caught. And you're only implicating yourself if you don't do anything immediately.
Yeah, it ain't the 30s and we ain't got no money or political clout, so...
Right.
I don't know.
Unless your last name's Trump and you haven't been telling us.
It's a tough one. Oh, man, you just brought up the unspeakable name. Some listeners are like, how dare they
Cringe alert.
They criticize my Lord and Savior.
Nah, well, I feel like if you're listening to this, you should be able to set aside your political views if you love that piece of shit. Because I mean, hey, I'm not saying Biden's any better. It really bugs me when people think because you hate Trump,
he's much better.
I just mean I don't think he's a better president.
Biden? You think Biden's better president than Trump?
I think he's fucking.
Based on what metric?
The fact that he's got the cognitive ability of a 5-year-old. Guy can't get through a fucking sentence without bumbling over his fucking words. Can't get up a flight of stairs without fucking falling.
Did you watch Trump's presidency?
Yeah, it was riddled with crime and unethical behavior, but at least that was mastermind shit.
It was no mastermind shit.
Racist, mastermind bull. He did fuck a porn star. Have you fucked a porn star?
Big deal. If I was born into wealth like he was, anybody could.
Oh, bro, if I was born into wealth, I'd be fucking all the porn stars.
I mean, if we want to turn into... I mean, I don't even want to delve into this because
favorite porn star?
He's going to have a favorite porn star.
Yeah, past or present.
I don't know that I really...
Really?
I don't know that I really know any porn stars.
I'm a big fan of Mia Khalifa.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Lebanese chick.
Yeah.
It's hilarious that she's never allowed to go back to Lebanon. Because what she did.
They kill you for that stuff.
But her highest amount of views come from Lebanon. Like the guy wants to jerk off to her, but he's like, the infidel.
That's like the great, like, even in our country.
She used to be a fatty.
Yeah.
Used to be a fatty.
Well, like, that's the thing. The very people condemning you the loudest are the people that are watching it the most.
Right.
So here's a fun little fact. This will anger some people, but I don't care. Whenever there's like a big Republican or conservative like convention. Mm-hmm. Let's say I think they had their one in maybe somewhere in Ohio. Let's say Columbus or Cincinnati or wherever in 2020. The folks who are in the business of monitoring internet traffic, guess what experienced an enormous surge in internet traffic when the Republican National Convention came to town? Pornography sites. So the party that's always like family values and you can't do this.
Yeah, I don't think
that. Biggest deviants and perverts on the planet.
Yeah, they're definitely got some skeletons in their closet and they like what they like. And I'm not gonna judge anyone on what the fuck you want to yank your fucking goalie to. It is what it is.
But when you're a lawmaker and you are publicly decrying gays and trans and pornography and it's the downfall of society, and then you yourself in your private tower like red rocket, red rocket, red rocket, red rocket, get the fuck out of here! Like you're a joke. Yeah, you got me started.
Yeah, I know. I should know better.
It's going off the rails now.
Yeah, let's not get into the politics, bro. They're all fucking weirdos. We got Epstein on the $20 bill.
Epstein is not on the $20 bill.
You can't say for certain that's not him.
Yes, I can.
Not for certain.
It's Andrew Jackson.
Because as Gibby would say, it's not probable, or it's not it is possible, but it's not probable.
Well, the $20 bill existed. I'd have to look. The $20 bill. Do you hear that? What was that? Something outside the room, wasn't it?
I did hear that.
$20 bill existed.
So April's got her vibrator out, and it's only fucking 4 o'clock. What the fuck, dude? It's one of those high-powered industrial ones.
Where did you even hear this stupid Epstein is on the $20 bill?
I seen a video on something.
Oh, I'm sure.
But the side-by-side is really what sold me. Like, because the picture they had of Epstein, it was like the exact same. Like, dude, it just looks so much like him.
Big deal. Like,
he's a time traveler, traveling pedophile and fuck, bro.
There you go. He's a time.
He's like Sam Beckett, but instead of fixing things that once went wrong to right, he's just raping kids. And it doesn't really sell a show.
This whole episode.
Hey,
God.
if I gotta fit an hour's worth of debauchery into a
was
fucking half hour.
Was it when I said, "Hey, let's do an abbreviated episode"? You were like, your mind went into overdrive, and it just like all.
Pump it up, baby.
It all distilled into kitty diddling. Like, what the hell? Jesus Christ.
Hey, people are intrigued by that shit.
Are they?
I feel like they are.
Intrigued?
Yeah, that's the word I'd use.
Epstein's on the 20. I don't even know where to go.
I'm not the only one who has said that and seen it and believed it. All right.
You don't believe that.
What? That he's a time traveler?
Or that he's on the 20.
Vampire?
You don't believe any of this shit.
No, I don't.
And to say, I like how your defense is, hey, I'm not the only one.
Red rocket.
A whole lot of people believe a whole lot of dumb shit. Don't mean it's true. Don't mean it's valid.
I feel like we got to pull the little Danny Torrance from The Shining. Red Rocket, Red Rocket, with the finger movement.
since this show has no structure or rhyme or reason, I'm just gonna go ahead and go into the whole stupid Red Rocket thing. Yesterday, I'm talking to Brandon. We're trading voice messages back and forth, okay? And I'm just goofing around and telling Brandon, "Hey, let's do a short where you're jerking off this red microphone, and I walk in the room, and you're going, Red Rocket, Red Rocket." And then, like, I surprise him. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he turns around and goes, "Nothing gay." and so we just riffed back and forth on variations, and Brandon was like, "I ain't doing nothing gay, dude. Nothing gay."
You're gonna talk me into no gay shit,
So
bro.
I was like, "I think we got
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just, I love my wife.
My God, I'm talking about you comically stroking a red microphone. There's nothing
Not
gay
happening.
about it. So then all day today, all he's doing is making gay innuendo, cracking gay jokes. I'm like, for a dude who was dead set on red rocking in a microphone, you sure bringing this up a lot.
It's all fair game. I will make fun of gay shit. I will make gay jokes, but I will not do gay shit. That's not gonna happen, bro.
Okay, I'm not going to specify any further that we were talking purely in comical terms, not even being serious that we were going to shoot this, and we were talking about a red
Listen, I'm going to get a gay
microphone.
prostitute on here, and I'm going to pay him $20 to suck your dick, all right? How about that? How about that?
These are you comprehend? Remember when you said last episode they tested you when you were a kid? Are you sure they didn't mess up those test results? You sure they got them correct?
I think there's people.
Because you were not
my
comprehending
father,
what I'm
my
saying.
father included, would say that they probably fudged that test up, and I am actually
Second
retarded.
episode in a row you brought up your dad.
But I don't look like a pug dog, bro. And I think
Tell me more about those.
About what?
I'll be your therapist.
What? My daddy issues?
Yeah, you said second episode in a row you brought them up now.
Oh, well, I mean, the guy fucking pisses me off.
What'd he do?
He takes credit for anything I do good and
Like what?
denies anything I do bad.
What'd you do good that you took
Like
credit
I'm a
for?
great parent. Like I learned that from him.
Well, certainly not.
Laughable.
Not to be. Well, no, I was going to say to be fair.
What I learned from him was how to get out of town quickly, and I use that. All right, I'll give him that.
Oh man. So does he listen to the podcast?
Fuck no, he made a comment today because I was here talking to the boys and he's like, well, what are you doing today? I was like, oh, I got the podcast. He's like, do you guys trying to be a smartass? Do you guys take callers? I'm like, sure do.
Yeah,
And I just stared him down, waved for him like, you want to call him, motherfucker? You want to deal with Joel's mouth? Go the fuck ahead, bro. It's one time I won't interrupt him and let him be long-winded. Go ahead. You're not gonna win that battle.
You know what? That's the funny thing. Is like like working at the haunted house. For reason I worked at a haunted house, ran a haunted house. I was a Q-line actor. I mean,
I thought it was because you want to meet young ass and have
that was just a side.
Slated
That was
state
just
of
a,
power over them.
That was just a side benefit. That's not why I got into it. No, working at the haunted house, especially working the Q-line, you don't work Q-line unless you can talk and you can think on your feet. And
right.
Preferably, you have a sense of humor, you're witty, blah, 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 because you're literally interacting with everybody. So there's times, like, people would come into the haunted house, people I knew, and they'd try and, like, get one over on me, like Jason did it once. And I just kind of look at them like, really? You want to do this while I'm in character? And you met my character, Vermin. Like, this is a character that thrives without boundaries. And I kind of give them that look, and then I'd see that, oh shit, look in their face. I'm like,
fucked up.
Well, here we go. So yeah, like, I'll.
You weren't in character when I went with the boys.
I was. No, you're right. I wasn't.
You
I
were
because working the door.
Yeah.
I wasn't really much in character because
There was some chick putting on a shitty fake British accent in the first room.
Oh, don't criticize her. That's one of my kids. She's a good actor.
So potential date?
No. Jesus Christ.
We gonna miss words here, bro.
Nah, she was one of my proteges.
No, she did a good job. She was like fucking Richard Gere doing that Scottish accent in the Jackal, bro.
Yeah, shit, we got.
Worse, we can't do it in this episode. We're gonna have to save
Christ.
it.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Oh man.
Shit went off the rails. What do you want?
No, that's the thing though. Like, man, shoot, people tuning in.
Fuck.
Wow, these
calls
boys
in.
got issues.
I think anyone who works at a school knows that I've got fucking serious goddamn issues.
So you saw your dad recently then?
I see him every day.
Oh, every day?
Yeah, well, he lives here in town, and like we'll meet for coffee. He'll come here for 5-10 minutes, sit with the boys.
Well, look, I'll clear the air about something else in case he does hear this episode.
He won't unless I specifically play it for him, which I will. I will do that. I mean, that's no problem. So you got something to say.
And look, and if he's got anything of a memory, this ain't gonna come as a surprise.
I already know what you're gonna say.
I know.
And I promise you, he fucking doesn't. Even if he
think I don't remember?
Even if he does remember, he will claim he doesn't remember to give the illusion he doesn't give a fuck.
Well, that's fine. I still got.
When in reality, it probably
got the email and the letter I wrote.
You still have it?
The email I might not have.
Oh my god, there's something wrong with
the letter. I save everything I write. Wow. I enjoy reading my own letters just as much as I enjoy listening to my own voice.
we all believe that and know that.
No, okay. So this one time when I was listen. I don't need to tell you this. Especially when I was younger, I had a bad temper, and if I even got wind someone ran their mouth about me, I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna see. And that was the situation. I had sent.
What did he possibly say about you?
I had sent an email to you. I believe it was actually. So the band System of a Down, one of my favorite bands, they used to like be involved in different political causes. And it may have been something I got from their mailing list. This was around the time of the Iraq War. An idiotic and illegal war. Not debatable. And if you are still arguing in favor of the Iraq War this far out, you're a fucking moron.
I mean, I don't think you can blame anyone who was in one of those wars.
I'm not blaming the people who were in it. I'm blaming the people who cheerleaded it, who said, Saddam's got weapons of mass destruction. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
They fucking lied. No. They lied to your ass to
they've
you to accept the war.
They've openly admitted that.
Well, I don't know that they've come out and said... They have said, well, it was bad intel. You knew.
That means, in my mind, that's like saying, yeah, that's bullshit.
You didn't do your homework. That's not a good enough answer. So anyways...
Maybe they're just retarded like I was in first grade. I also didn't do my homework.
Not a good idea to get me started on politics. So anyways, I had sent an email to you.
Put this on me.
That basically, was calling into question the Bush administration's... truthfulness and reasons for going to war with Iraq, which we now know, and many of us knew at the time, were complete and utter bullshit. And even if you still think, well, no, there was a reason, fine, go ahead and cling to your reasons. You cannot argue with the results. It was a fucking disaster in terms of blood and treasure and how badly it destabilized that region. It was a fucking disaster. Suck my balls.
Doing a lot of hand talking over there.
Plain and simple.
A lot of hand talking.
There's no arguing against it. Anyways, I had sent an email to you being critical of the Bush administration. Well, I remember you telling me a story, you said you had accidentally, I believe, forwarded it to several people on your email list, and your dad was one of them. And for whatever reason, you told me, hey, that email got sent to my dad, and this is what he sent me back. And it was something insulting me and my dad. So I was like, wow. I'm like, listen, me and my old man might have our own issues, but you don't get to have issues with me and my old man. Fuck you. So, of course, I fire off like this 2-page letter that was just like...
I remember it was slanderous.
It wasn't slanderous. Everything I said in it was true. I don't remember ever being sued, so I guess it wasn't slanderous, because if it was slander, you can sue for slander. You want to know how I wasn't slandered? Because I didn't get sued for it.
And with that being said, you've been served.
So anyway, I wrote an email in response, and I remember you would not give me his email. You wouldn't give it because you're like, I don't want to be in this, and I didn't blame you.
Right, like how wrong of me not to want to be in the middle of it.
I get an idea in my head. I'm like, no, fuck this. I can't let this stand. So of course I had Jason get it for me because that's when you guys lived together at the time. I was like, hey Jason, I need an email. You were like logged in your computer or something, and Jason got it for me. So
well, I go back to his hands aren't fucking clean.
Maybe you had a point there. Maybe you did have a point.
That dude was dabbling in shit all the time. He had no business dabbling in.
So I wrote this letter, eviscerating your dad, like said my piece, and I never heard a word on it. In fact, I even wondered, like, well, did he get it? And I think you years later told me that something he had said or done something that confirmed to you that he got it.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I'm sure if I said that, then
it's like whatever. Like after all these years,
he probably said one day, "Hey, your cousin's a fucking idiot," and I'm like, oh, I must have got the goddamn email. How nice.
You know what? Call me a lot of things. Don't call me an idiot. Because when people try and like paint me in a way that I'm not intelligent, now that pisses me off because that's a straight up fucking lie and a cop out. You want to disagree with me on X, Y, or Z? That's fine. And you know what? I saw your dad at least one time after that. It was
you almost seen him today. You just missed him. Yeah, you just missed him.
And if I saw him today, I wouldn't be like, hey, asshole.
Hey, you fucking bigot.
Like, I wouldn't do now if you were like in the midst of a fight, I might follow your lead and be like, yeah, fuck you, man. But I'm not going to just walk in and be like, hey, fuck you. You know, I'm not going to come into your home and do that. But I saw one time, it was not long after Bourbon was born. This is when you guys were still at that one trailer. I'd come over to play NHL, and basically we were just like, oh, hey, remember? He's like, oh, hey, you remember me? I'm like, yeah? Do you remember that letter I wrote?
Clearly not.
I didn't say anything. I was just like, oh, yeah. I'm like, you know, it was years later.
Well, I mean, what's he going to do that many years later? Like, you motherfucker, here we go.
I mean, you never know. Some people hold on to grudges.
My dad's like me, dude. Like, he'll be mad for a second, then shit just falls out of sight.
I felt like you pissed me off. I said my piece as best as I could. I assume you got it. You never said anything. Not that like we had like an open line of communication.
You receive a letter in the mail. You open it up. On a blank piece of paper just says "Red Rocket, Red Rocket."
this episode makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
Sometimes those are the best ones, though.
Oh boy.
Ones you can just literally sit back not to think about.
We're coming to the end here. So is there anything else you want to touch on? Is there anything else you want to touch on this episode before we reconvene and get back to some sort of structure?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, I do. You know, I want to do the movie thing in a future episode.
All right, so that's what we can do. What we had planned for this episode, what we'll get to next time. I got to tell the story about swimming to the bottom of a lake.
Yep.
Which I don't think I'd even attempt it now. Like
no.
The fear of deep water, and this isn't even particularly deep water.
And that pressure changes affects you differently as an adult.
Well, maybe
I promise you, as being a kid, I could go down deep, no problem. Now as an adult, if I go down past 8 feet, I can feel that pressure in my ears ready to fucking explode. Not fun.
So yeah, we'll talk about some movies that we think are underrated. You guys are free to share some of your ideas. And then Brandon, of course, is going to detail another beef he's got. A beef with the Gooder Guys.
Oh, hey.
The Gooder Guys podcast. You can check them out, too. Gooder Guys show. Quality show. I enjoy it.
Don't expect any freebies.
You've had all episode to come up with something. That was the line. So we'll get into that into the next episode.
They're good at not following through.
Man. Well, it's all about trying to be gooder. It's not actually doing.
We're not trying very fucking hard.
Gooder. That's.
I got it. I got it.
So, of course, as always, you can like and follow us on Facebook, follow on Instagram, subscribe on the YouTube, and if you want to get in on any of these conversations, you can send an email to vagrantsandvandals@gmail.com. That is vagrants with the letter N, vandals@gmail.com. BMO, any final words for this abbreviated episode?
That was a quick one.
Was a quick one.
I usually my sex sessions last longer than that, and
don't lie. Don't tell that.
All right,
lie.
shameful. I would have went 5 times.
Give me a break.
5 times. No, like and subscribe always, and we're trying to work on getting some merch going so you can support the podcast without just listening. Get the name out there.
Yeah, we're gonna need to do more.
Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your fucking old ass grandma who's on her deathbed. Get an episode in before she goes.
Jesus Christ!
I die with a smile on your face.
You went somewhere.
Go with a smile on your face.
Real dark today in this one.
2 Hearted Ale does that to me. Opens up the
honey hole's getting to you.
The honey hole.
The honey hole's getting to you. Next episode, we'll also talk a couple of interesting stories. We got a story about a nun who was dug up for, well, we don't know why, but she was dug up, and they think her body might be proof of some sort of divine intervention. And then another story about a scientist who was going to live underwater for 100 days. Last episode, we talked about a woman who lived in a cave for 500 days. Next one, going to talk about a dude who plans to live underwater for 100 days.
That would be
study
scary.
The effects.
That would be scary.
Yeah, we'll get our thoughts on that. So, until then, remember, be you vagrant or be you vandal. All rascals and rogues welcome here.